This is the AENO Smart LED infrared panel heater. It's rated at 700 watts, it's made from glossy tempered glass and available in a range of colours including black like this one here. So let's take a closer look and put it through its paces. So let's have a look at what's inside the box then. Let's open this up. Oops. Broke the box. Quick start guide just here, and a hole drilling template. So you can mount this on the wall as well. Have a look at that. It's wall mountable. You can mount it horizontally or vertically. Wall brackets for mounting it on the wall, and noisy. And these must be floor mounting brackets, so legs so as it can go on the ground. Power cable. Get them out of the way. Okay, so these are wall plugs and bolts or hooks. Put that close to the camera. I guess those are for wall mounting as well. I'm going to put them back in the envelope. I don't want to lose them. This looks pretty special actually. It's glass, it's quite thick glass. I'll put that down. Here are the little legs, and they go on here like this. Put them in loose just to start with. Let's turn this around and show the camera there. Look at that. Okay, you can just see the reflection of my dirty conservatory roof there. Right, let's fire this up and see how it performs then. This is an interesting product because it's the most powerful freestanding heating panel I've tested. Compared to the Herschel 500 watt panel that I've shown you before, it's wider but shorter, so it certainly gives the impression of taking up less space. And you may have seen the brackets when I unboxed it, but this panel can also be wall mounted both horizontally and vertically. I'm using it here in a freestanding configuration, and one thing to point out is the stand actually has rubber grips on the feet, so the heater won't go sliding around or scratch your flooring. If you remember with the Herschel heater, I had to put some protective pads on the bottom of that. They make it in 3 different colours. I've got the black one here, but you can also get it in white or grey. Now this version here is the LED version, which means it has an LED display at the back that you use to set the required temperature. It doesn't mean it has LED lighting, which I was a bit disappointed with given its name, but there is also a version without the LED display, and I assume you have to control that totally using the app. So talking about the app control then, this heater is Wi-Fi connected and it uses the Tuya SmartLife platform. You can use the AENO app if you like, and the instructions will talk you through getting that. But if you have Tuya SmartLife already installed for other devices, then you might as well just use that. Just open up the app and it detects it automatically, then talks you through the process of connecting to it. It's a really quick and easy setup process, just like every other Tuya based product seems to be. Once configured, you can turn it on and off using the app, set a constant heating or smart heating mode. In smart heating mode, you basically set a target temperature for your room, just like any other thermostatically controlled heater. Over in the panel settings, you can enable a child lock to prevent the physical buttons from being used on the heater, and toggle whether or not you have this ceiling mounted. This option disables the tilt sensor, which would turn off the heater if it fell over. You can also set the temperature of the panel, which is by default set to 120 degrees Celsius. And because it's using Tuya SmartLife, you can control the whole heating panel using Home Assistant. If you're using the Tuya cloud integration, then the heater basically just appears as a new climate entity for you to use. It's also totally silent in operation, which is a big plus point from my point of view. There's no beeping at all and no clicking of relays as it turns on and off, no coil whine or high-pitched noises. It's eerily quiet. But enough of the features, this is a heater, so we need to test its heating ability. So last time I reviewed a heating panel, I used one of those trigger style thermometers and I pointed it at the panel at different distances to give you an idea of how the heat would drop off the further away you got. And I got quite a bit of feedback saying, it's not very good, you're not doing it properly, you shouldn't test it like that. So I've upped my game this time. I've got some temperature sensors lined up along the floor at different distances from the panel heater, and I'm going to turn on the panel heater and we're going to let it warm up, and we're going to see what those temperature sensors all say. They've all been calibrated, so they're all reading equally, so let's see how it gets on. So as you can see, we were starting off from a fairly low temperature of around 5 degrees. It was under 4 degrees outside during this test, so to expect this small heater to have a big impact on the room temperature would be unreasonable. When you're sitting in front of the heater, it feels a lot warmer than these results are suggesting, but the temperature drop-offs as you move further away is quite accurate. I left it on for an hour, and you can see that the sensor, which was half a metre from the panel, started noticing it within 5 minutes. The second sensor, which was 125 centimetres from the panel, didn't start registering anything for 10 minutes, and the sensor that was 2 metres away took 15 minutes to notice anything at all. Looking at this graph, it's pretty obvious that to get the maximum benefit from this panel, you need to sit closer to it. There's a big difference between 50 centimetres from the panel and 125 centimetres from the panel, but once you get further away than that, then there's not much of a difference. You need to remember that to start with, this is a small panel. Although it's rated 700 watts and my power monitor showed about 750 watts in use, it's still only suitable for very small rooms. Additional heating, so you'd want 2 or 3 of these to fully cover a large area. It also takes quite a while to warm up compared to the Herschel ones I've used before. Those ones used to be up to temperature within 5 minutes. This panel, however, doesn't really seem to give you much benefit for at least 10 minutes. Now there's 2 reasons that I think that might be the case. Firstly, this is a glass panel, and I have a feeling that although glass looks really nice, it might be slowing down the immediate heating effect. Secondly, this panel seems to pump out a fair bit of heat out the back too. The glass at the rear gets very hot to the touch, and you can feel the heat radiating off it to a good foot away. Most of the heat still comes out the front, but it does seem like there's a fair bit wasted if you're expecting it to only heat you sitting in front of it. To wrap this up then, I think this is an extremely stylish looking heater. That's not a universal opinion. My wife says it looks like I've left a very wide TV lying around and that it doesn't look good at all, but she didn't like the Herschel ones either. It's also really quiet, which is important to me, and the setup process was very simple. If you are interested in getting one of these, then I'll put an affiliate link down in the description. If you use that, then you'll be helping to support the channel. Don't forget to give this video a like if you found it useful, and subscribe to my channel to see more from me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.